Welcome to Techstination. Joining us once again is Justin Burr, Google technology expert. Thanks for joining us, Justin.
Hey, thanks for having me.
What we're talking about is the big holiday weekend and what's going on. More specifically, maybe what isn't going on, and that is a lot of physical travel. But Google has some possible answers here. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's a big travel weekend, but we're going to keep the travel virtual for now. And there's a lot of search interest around all these different virtual travel options around the internet. We've seen huge spikes in things like the Louvre virtual tour, Smithsonian virtual tour, Disney virtual tour, Yellowstone virtual tour, more than 5,000% in the past 2 months in the United States across all these different categories of people trying to still get their travel fix while doing it from home. And I will say, I was a bit skeptical. I was like, if I can't travel, I'm not going to pretend that I can travel on the internet. But I've done some of these virtual tours, and it's actually really, really impressive. There's one that Google has from our Google Arts and Culture department that you can check out as well if you'd like. You can go to artsandculture.google.com, and you can tour all of these famous museums. You can go to the Van Gogh Museum. You can go to the MoMA. Any really, really famous museum out there, you can go tour online virtually, and it's pretty awesome. Obviously it's not the exact same as being there, but it's certainly the second best option. So a lot of people, obviously the big holiday weekend kind of marks the big unofficial start of summer, I guess. So a lot of people will be traveling, and we can't do that. So the next best thing is doing this virtual travel. It's great.
Yeah, a lot of parents are using this too with kids with the homeschooling in mind.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, as they've been thrust into this kind of educator role, they can go check out museums and things like that. But you can also do some fun things with the kids. There's actually 11 different Disney theme parks that you can tour using Google Street View, which is really fun. I took a look through Splash Mountain earlier this morning, and it was great. It's actually very fun. And you can also tour if the kids are trying to get outside maybe a little bit. You can tour some of the national parks through 360-degree Street View imagery as well. And you can check that out at g.co/national parks.
Interesting. And I understand there are some venues that actually have had events that I've heard of that people can join in online for some virtual fun, more or less.
Definitely. Yeah. So a couple categories as well that have seen over 5,000% increases are virtual concerts. And I personally have joined many a virtual concert. It's actually probably my favorite thing coming out of the pandemic is the ability to join a new concert or watch your favorite artist live stream something basically every single night. I just feel like the access to music, I'm very thankful for that because that is really keeping me sane. And it's really fun to watch the artists that I enjoy continually live stream a lot of their different works, especially if it's just something more casual. Maybe they're just in their living room and, they're just trying to play a couple songs for 10, 12 minutes or whatever. It's a really cool way to kind of get more intimate view of what they're doing. But yeah, people are definitely joining virtual events. One thing that I found particularly interesting that's on the spiked search list is virtual wine tasting. I'm not sure how you can do that just yet. I guess if you supply your own wine, you can be somewhere virtually at some sort of a vineyard, but I don't think we figured out a way to virtually pour wine from the internet just yet.
Well, just like there are no lines with the virtual Disney tour, there's no drinking too much with a virtual wine tour either, I suppose.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. There's no lines in the virtual Disney tour. That's a plus. That's a plus for sure.
And I guess with the artists, Justin, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but with the artists, it kind of brings them closer to their fan base. you see them, trying to get by just like everybody else is right now. And that same goes for like the late night shows, things like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Totally. Yeah. And it's a really intimate way of just connecting with them as well. Like, a lot of the different streaming platforms, I watch a lot of the stuff on YouTube when they're live streaming there, and you can, type messages not only to the actual artists themselves, but then to the other fans that are watching. And I think that that's what a lot of people are creating right now, is like a shared experience with somebody. And so even though you're not necessarily next to anybody at this virtual concert, having those message boards and being able to interact with the artists and the other fans does give you that sense of a shared experience. So yeah, I do feel closer to a lot of the artists in a weird way, because you are kind of seeing them in their day-to-day normal lives, which is an odd thing to say, but yeah, I do love joining the virtual concerts. And artists are doing so. I think that they're just as bored as everybody else. So it's nice to see them just constantly pumping out, maybe not new music, but at least performances and things like that.
Well, interesting information. Where's the best place for people to go to maybe get more?
Yeah, with the national park stuff that I mentioned, you can go to g.co/national parks. If you want to tour any of the museums or check out, Google Arts and Culture has a lot of interesting stuff. Like they have this thing called Art Projector. It allows you to use your phone to see what an art piece would look like in your home. We've got Art Transfer, which transforms your photos into the styles or characteristics of renowned artists. It's very interesting stuff, but you can do that at artsandculture.google.com. And then a lot of this stuff is just on our blog called The Keyword. That kind of gives you more information around touring the Disney parks and kind of just other options when it comes to virtual travel. So that's just our blog called The Keyword.
Terrific. Justin Burr, thank you for taking the time with us.
Hey, always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Now this. How many companies out there have continued to innovate when it comes to building a better radio? I'm Fred Fishkin, host of Techstination, and I'm here to tell you about the new CC Skywave SSB radio from the wonderful people at C. Crane. Bob and his crew really love radio, and it shows in this new compact model that is packed with features. Beyond great AM and FM reception and sound, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world, listen to ham radio operators, aviation, and more. It's the radio you'll turn to every day, and in emergencies. It will run for nearly 3 days on just 2 AA batteries. Pair the sleep timer with the new Soft Speaker 3, and you've got the perfect radio for your nightstand. Of course, it can wake you up too. Click on C. Crane at techstination.com and put in the code Techstination for a free flashlight with your order. They love radio, and you'll love C. Crane.